Ladies and gentlemen, the next contestant in the 2010 Messenger Community News Mortgage Choice Golden Gavel from LJ Hooker at Stirling, Mr. Josh Biggs.
Today represents a renaissance, a rebirth, a turning point in what will continue to be a proud and important history of 81 Jeffcott Street in North Adelaide. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I've had the opportunity to meet with a number of you in the last half an hour or so. For those of you who I haven't met, my name is Josh Biggs. I'm absolutely delighted to be your auctioneer here this afternoon. On behalf of our marketing agents, Fox Real Estate, and in particular our company director, Mr. Andrew Fox, would like to welcome you here to this most important in-room auction event. We certainly appreciate the high level of inquiry we've received over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and of course your attendance at our open inspections, and we wish you all the very best with your bidding when we get underway in a couple of moments' time. Ladies and gentlemen, today's proceedings are very straightforward indeed. I'm firstly going to run through the relevant points that are listed in the contract note and that have been on display here at the venue for the last half an hour or so. I will secondly remind you of the standard terms and conditions under which you're bidding here today. And finally, after pausing for any last-minute questions, we'll take you on one last look at this fabulous development opportunity you're hoping to secure here this afternoon. That property is contained on 2 certificates of title, Register Book Volume 5863, Folio 432 and 5848 555. It is the property that's advertised at 81 Jeffcott Street in North Adelaide, South Australia, 5006. We are, of course, in the City of Adelaide Council area. The zoning of the property is North Adelaide Historic Conservation. Our vendors are Unique Building Proprietary Limited, quite an appropriate name, I think you'd all agree, ladies and gentlemen. Well, they're not registered for GST, so simply there's no GST applicable to the purchase price. Simply what you bid today is what you pay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the standard inclusions and exclusions, they apply to today's sale. Very simple. We're offering it on a walk-in, walk-out basis, so it's simply as you've inspected the property is how you're buying here today. The successful buyer, they're required to leave behind a deposit of 10%, settlement and the balance of funds set down for 30 days' time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the general auction conditions of sale, they don't vary from property to property, and quite simply, under the standard provisions within which we operate, it's a requirement for me as your auctioneer to ensure that all bidders have firstly registered and received an R3, an R4 and an R5 document. They are, of course, the buyer's information notice, the bidder's guide, and also information relating to collusive practices. And furthermore, I state the property is being offered subject to our vendor's reserve price that is recorded in the auction record.
1.2 million.
Madam, I didn't even see you there.
1.2 million.
I'll get underway in a moment if that's okay. I know you're excited to buy, but I'll be with you in a moment if that's okay.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Be back with you shortly. As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, the property is being offered subject to our vendor's reserve price that is recorded in the auction record. In order to bid, you must be registered, as I've stated, and display your identifying number when placing a bid. So when you do place a bid here this afternoon, please hold your card up high so there can be no doubt the bid is with you at that time. That way there can be no disputes as to who holds the highest bid. If the bidding reaches or exceeds the reserve price, well, it's very straightforward. My instructions are clear. I'm to call the property 3 times and then drop the hammer. There will be no further bids accepted after that time. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, as the auctioneer, I can sign the documentation on behalf of our vendor or the purchaser or both parties if required. If you are the successful buyer, I would encourage you to contact your insurance company and take out a cover note to protect your interest in the property you've just purchased. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, you're bidding on a cash, unconditional basis where, of course, no cooling off rights apply. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the contract note and the conditions of sale. Very straightforward indeed. However, I will just pause to answer any last-minute questions in relation to the property itself, or indeed how we're offering it to you here this afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Auctioneer.
Sir.
In the future, I might want to cut off that rear block, should I be the successful buyer today, and build a second house. Will that be possible?
Well, there's already 2 titles here, sir, so I'm sure that with the 2 titles in place, you could easily sell it separately. There's no problem in doing that. It's already in place for you to do that. You don't even have to get second division or anything like that. So you look like a pretty intelligent man to me, though. I reckon you've probably made your inquiries already, so I wish you well with your bidding, sir. Any other bidding? Any other questions, sorry, ladies and gentlemen? No further questions? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the former Christchurch Day School enjoys a long and rich history. It was constructed during a time of renaissance in Adelaide architecture. The year was 1869. The foundation stone had just been laid at the St Peter's Cathedral just at the bottom of Montefiore Hill, and shortly afterwards Ayres House on North Terrace was completed to be the building we know it today. Along with an enviable slice of Adelaide's history, today's successful buyer will become the next custodian of not only the original school hall and, of course, numerous period outbuildings, but also a perfectly positioned North Adelaide allotment of in excess of 1,200 square metres, with the valuable added advantage of 2 street accesses, 2 street frontages. You've got the 16-metre frontage with the imposing stone facade facing Jeffcott Street, and, of course, the right-of-way off Ward Street, providing the essential car parking that a property in this location with the development potential that it's got so richly requires. The building, yes, it's seen vast changes over the years, but ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed set to see many more. Today, the buyer can shape the future direction of this totally unique property. The appropriate council permission is already in place to undertake further works and complete the conversion to a property of 3 luxurious residential apartments. Even greater opportunity is this with the existing 2 titles, perhaps to create a 3rd title or more, subject to council consent. The new owner, of course, could look at the commercial aspect of the property, with being a prime site immediately adjacent to the O'Connell precinct, which continues to thrive in this inner suburban north. And of course, finally, ladies and gentlemen, you may be just here to buy and convert it to a single state-of-the-art residence, which would no doubt be the envy of all in this fringe CBD location. So many opportunities, ladies and gentlemen, so various, so versatile is the property. What is clear is that regardless of whoever the buyer is here today, this is an opportunity to create something very, very special in a suburb that continues to defy the concept of overcapitalisation. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you well with your bidding. I'm going to hand over to you now and offer number 81, Jeffcott Street in North Adelaide. It's on the market, it's for sale. Is there